Thank you. I'll begin with a story. This story actually originated 100 years back in Germany. This is the story of Germany, 100 years old, and it's a true story. This is the story of a school where the teacher was teaching a group of young kids, kids of around 10 years old. It was snowing outside, it's a very cold day, and the teacher was teaching a very weird thing. Yes, teacher was telling that God is evil. Because his explanation was like that as God has created everything, God has created evil, so God is evil. Immediately, one young student reacted. He just stood up and said, Professor, can I ask you something? Professor said, yes, why not? Go ahead. He said, Professor, does cold exist? Professor said, what kind of question is this? Don't you feel the cold it is snowing outside? The boy said, according to the law of physics, cold doesn't exist. It is the absence of heat, we call it cold. Then the young student threw his second fireball in the form of question. Professor, does darkness exist? Professor just said, yes, it do, but he could not finish the sentence, and suddenly the student again said, wrong. Darkness doesn't exist. We can study light. We cannot study darkness. Similarly, the evil doesn't exist. It is the absence of God's love in our heart. We call it evil. This is the story of the famous, all-time famous scientist of the history, Albert Einstein's story. Carrying forward this story, I would like to talk in the same line that negativity also does not exist. It is the absence of positivity, we call it negativity. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Today, I will not only talk about how to think positive, I will show you a simple formula, how to turn your positive thinking to successful thinking. Basically, there are two types of positive thinkers. One is general positive thinkers. They used to find, try to find positivity in everything, and they end up quarreling with the negative people. Excuse me. I'd like to give an example of this kind of positive thinkers. They always find the half of the glass is full. But negative people, they prove that no, the half of the glass is empty. So while the quarreling is going on, negative people, what they do, they take the juices like this. Let me finish it. They finish it and they say, look, now it is full empty. What do you say now? Still that general positive thinkers, they say that it is also full. The glass is still full. It is full of air. So this is how actually the general positive thinkers, they keep on exploiting themselves and ended up arguing with the negative people. Basically, they get nothing. They get neither the juice, they get not the glasses, nothing. In contrast, the success-oriented positive thinkers, in this situation, what they would do, they would act some different way. They would first look at the glass, they would say inside, and they would decline politely to the negative thinkers. They would say, sorry, this is not my glass. Or they would refuse that, sorry, I am not actually ready to discuss on these topics. So how do you think this kind of people, they look like, the success-oriented positive thinkers? They have three distinct characteristics. Don't you think it's good? They have three distinct characteristics. The first of all, they have a very big dream, big enough dream to die for. let me give you an example. We all have, somehow we are associated with some office or our workplaces. We have basically two kinds of colleagues wherever we work. Some group of people, they actually crippled up emotionally very soon when their boss scolds them. Sometimes they even show their face to the bosses out of their anger. Don't you have that kind of colleagues? We also have another group of colleagues who are actually stuck with the boss in such a way as if the rail bogies are stuck following the engines. No matter how bad the boss bullied or insulted them. So what do you think? What makes them act so flexibly in their life? Because this group of people, they have a very big dream. They have clear vision what to ask from boss after 1 year. The second characteristics of the positive thinker, they start small. Maybe their dream can be very big, but they are never feeling shy to start small and taking the first baby step and one step at a time towards their goal. And the third and the final characteristics of the positive, successful thinkers, they start now. Whatever the situation is. They are not like those people who say, I have a dream and I will start my dream tomorrow and that tomorrow never comes. They are not like that. They know the fear is real and they have to face the fear anyway. They choose to face the fear now. Whatever they do, they take the action now. So positive thinking means actually having very big dream, taking small baby steps and starting your venture now. Dream big, start small, start now. That is actually, when you start thinking like that way, I call it successful thinking. Always remember one thing, you are that successful sperm who had beaten 20 million sperms and came on board this earth. Don't you feel your success? So I would like to take 3 positive promises from you. Number 1, will you dream big in your life? Say yes.
Yes.
How small it is, will you start your dream towards your goal? Say yes.
Yes.
And will you start it now? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you to your success. Over to you.